just a few days. So today, before we begin, I'd like to ask that Tina Schaaf be appointed clerk of court. Is there a motion to that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any motion carries. All right, Ms. Schaaf, will you please call the roll?
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Harrison.
Here.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Here.
Magistrate Helms.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins. Here. Magistrate Dye.
Here.
Magistrate Logston.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Second.
This agenda, because it has been posted as a special meeting, we're not going to add any items. We can delete items if anyone would like to offer deletion. Magistrate Hounds.
Judge, we skipped the pledge.
You're right about that. Why don't we finish the agenda and then we'll go back to the pledge, okay? Magistrate Dye.
I'd like to remove the Premier contract.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I couldn't quite make out if we had a majority vote there or not. Ms. Schaaf, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Magistrate Tice.
Aye.
Magistrate Likens.
No.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Aye.
Magistrate Harrison. I'm sorry? Magistrate Helms.
Aye.
Magistrate Dye.
Aye.
Magistrate Hawkins. Aye. Magistrate Logston.
Aye.
Judge Vogel.
Abstain. Motion carries, I believe. All right, that'll be taken off the agenda. All right, any other items to be removed? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. And now we'll back up and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I very much enjoy stating the Pledge of Allegiance. I can't say I actually like the profile view that I project on the screen here. I assure everyone I'm not having a baby anytime soon. So, all right, we'll go on to have Ms. Schaaf please read the minutes from our last meeting.
June 16th, 2020, the Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at a regular meeting at 2 p.m. via video teleconference and aired on Spectrum Cable Channel 184 due to social distancing requirements in the COVID-19 pandemic, with County Attorney John Carter, Judge Executive David Vogel, and the following magistrates in attendance: Brent Likens, Wayne Tice, Albert Harrison, Steve Greenwell, Chris Hounds, Stephanie Hawkins, Bob Dye, and Michael Logston. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the agenda as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the minutes from June 2nd, 2020. Motion carried unanimously. For public comment, none. The County Administration budget transfers. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Logston to approve the budget transfers for fiscal year 1920 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. For payables, motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to approve the payables as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Under contracts, agreements, and resolutions, the Deceased Farm Animal Removal Program 2020 grant. Motion made by Magistrate Greenwell and seconded by Magistrate Logston to name Director of Animal Control Polly Helton as the grant administrator and authorize the judge executive to sign the grant application relating to the deceased farm animal removal program as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. The revised 2021 County Road Aid Cooperative Agreement Resolution. Motion made by Magistrate Guy and seconded by Magistrate Greenwell to authorize the judge executive to sign the KYTC agreement and resolution relating to the revised 2021 County Road Aid Cooperative Agreement as submitted. Motion carried unanimously on a roll call vote. For personnel action, the engineer's office, motion made by Magistrate Helms and seconded by Magistrate Logston to hire Michael Lee Thompson Jr. as engineering technician at $24.10 per hour effective July 6, 2020 as submitted. Motion carries unanimously. For the maintenance department, motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Likens to hire Blaine Schindler as seasonal laborer at $16.50 an hour effective June 17, 2020 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. For board appointments, the Environmental Authority Board, motion made by Magistrate Guy and seconded by Magistrate Tice to appoint Brent Likens to the Oldham County Environmental Authority Board with the term to expire July 1st, 2024 as submitted. Motion carried 801, Magistrate Likens abstained. Oldham LaGrange Development Authority Board, motion made by Magistrate Guy and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to reappoint George Flickner to the Oldham Board with a term to expire June 3rd, 2024 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. The LaGrange Fire Protection District Board, motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Logston to reappoint Amy Alvey to the LaGrange Fire Protection District Board with a term to expire June 30th, 2023 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. For the South Oldham Fire Protection District Board, motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to reappoint Dennis Dival to the South Oldham Fire Protection District Board with a term to expire June 30th, 2023 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. For the North Oldham Fire Protection District Board, motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Tice to appoint Tony Issing to the North Oldham Fire Protection District Board with a term to expire June 30th, 2023 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. For Pee Wee Valley Fire Protection District Board, motion made by Magistrate Logston and seconded by Magistrate Guy to reappoint Joy Tabler to the Pee Wee Valley Fire Protection District Board with a term to expire June 30th, 2023 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. And for the Westport Fire Protection District Board, motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Tice to to appoint Roy Franklin to the Westport Fire Protection District Board with a term to expire June 30th, 2023 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. For public comment, there was none. Announcements. Judge Vogel announced a special called fiscal court meeting Monday, June 29th at 2 p.m. for the purpose of approving final claims for the fiscal year June 30th, 2020 via Zoom, teleconference, and air on Spectrum Cable Channel 184. He announced the county would hold its annual fireworks display on July 4th, 2020 at approximately 9:30 p.m. and the daytime activities that usually take place before the fireworks show have been canceled. Magistrate Harrison expressed his condolences to the family of Bob Miller, who passed away. He announced Oldham County's response level stands at 80.6 for the census 2020, which is currently 6th best in the country. He expressed his gratitude to Claudia Peralta Mudd with the Census Bureau and Deputy Judge Executive Kevin Nuss for their roles in the success of the census. Magistrate Harrison expressed his disappointment in the lack of local media recognition of D-Day. He wants the State Highway Department to increase its efforts of maintenance and general cleanup in the right-of-way on state highways, and he announced the Oregon Creek Road Bridge replacement project is on schedule. Magistrate Hounds announced Kroger Health and the Little Clinic are offering free COVID-19 testing in Oldham County, Tuesday, June 16th through Thursday, 6/18. Testing tents will be set up at the Oldham County High School. Pre-registration is required. He asked the drivers to keep alert on roads throughout the county, watching out for pedestrians and cyclists. He thanks local law enforcement, LaGrange Police, Oldham County Police, and the Sheriff's Office for their presence during the recent protests held in downtown LaGrange. Other fiscal court members agreed and stated the county is lucky to have such a professional and top-notch police force. Magistrate Hawkins encouraged everyone to vote. Election Day is June 23rd. Registered voters in Oldham County can vote by appointment by calling the clerk's office or vote in person June 23rd from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Oldham County High School in Buckland. She announced the recycling center is still closed to the public due to the COVID-19 and the loss of inmate health and the temporary closures of other recycling centers in nearby counties. Thanks everyone for their patience, and the opening of the aquatic center this summer is still yet to be determined. Magistrate Tice voted by appointment, and he thanks County Clerk Julie Barr and the staff for all the extra work they've done to make the election process go as smooth as possible. Magistrate Logston asked residents to have patience with construction projects and CSX work in Crestwood and Pee Wee Valley. And Magistrate Likens wished all fathers Happy Father's Day on Sunday, June 21st. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously, and the meeting adjourned at 3:05 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from June 16th. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you. Time now for public comment, the time during our meeting when people in the community are allowed to speak to the fiscal court about any subject of their choice. We do have several people here in the fiscal court chamber today, but I don't believe they have any public comment. I do believe we have Teresa Gamsky on the phone. Is that correct?
Go ahead, Teresa.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon,
All
Judge
right.
Vogel.
We're looking for an update on our coronavirus circumstance in Oldham County.
Yes, sir. We are approximately up to 137 cases this week. We are working, the team is working one additional death this week, so that will probably be published to bring us up to 8 deaths. I don't really know the background with that one specifically where it originated at that point, but very, very sad for any loss in our community. Additionally, I wanted to alert the community we have updated our Facebook page. They've included a list of choices to get COVID tested. This is for a COVID test to determine if you have active disease, just the nasal swab. And we have numerous choices in adjacent counties right now in Henry and Shelby and Louisville, and that's on our Facebook page, or you're welcome to call the office and we can help folks out that way. The health department is planning on resuming testing probably mid-July as we transition to open clinics back up for school preparations. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We also have a new team of contact tracers that are in our office. So we're transitioning that contact tracing work to this team as we see that most people that have become positive in the last few weeks have, they've gone from having 1 or 2 close contacts to having 20 to 25 contacts. So that is specifically how this virus is spread. So we really want to encourage our community to continue to wear a mask where they're in any congregate setting like church, the grocery store, at school. We're going to have our work cut out for us in the future as we put the kids and the staff back in the schools. So masks are going to be part of our protection plan.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Appreciate the work you and the health department are doing to help keep us safe and keep us informed as well. We do encourage people to wear masks. I happen to have mine with me here today. It's right there. It says Team Kentucky on it, and I keep it on the end of a lanyard, and that way I know when I get out of my car or go somewhere, I have it close by. So that was an idea that came up in our office, and I think it's a good one to keep your lanyard with you. So, and your mask. So, I don't know if any member of the court has any, comment to make or questions. I don't see any here, so I'd like to thank you for being with us, and please keep us informed, and good luck out there.
All right, thank
All
you,
right.
Judge Vogel.
Thank you, Teresa.
Bye.
Right, we'll go on now to the next item on the agenda today, and that is the opening of bid openings for the dispatch simulcast microwave network. Our county treasurer, Melissa Horn, is sitting next to me. The purpose of this request for proposals is to install a new microwave network with the state-of-the-art equipment. The microwave network will be used exclusively to provide transport for voice and data associated with a VHF simulcast paging system that we are implementing for our emergency responders. So I'll go ahead and accept the first one here. All right, this is from End to End Technologies of St. Paul, Minnesota. $99,871.90. The second bid is from ERS Wireless of Louisville, $71,563.51. The third bid is from Maz Tech Network Solutions of Clackamas, Oregon, $225,000.
Get the page
I
for
know.
you. Sorry.
Have to sometimes dig in here to find the page. Radio Communication System, doing business as RCS Communications, Louisville, $60,697. The fourth bid is coming up, and that is from Tilson Technology Management, Portland, Maine, $192,496.
Last one.
The final bid is from TNSS Global, Plano, Texas, $95,000. All right, we're going to take these and look at these bids to make sure that they meet the specifications asked for. I don't think we'll have an announcement on this until the next meeting. Yes, sir. As your
If
hounds.
it's possible, I'd like to, the Public Safety Committee and the Dispatch Director will look over these and we'll make a recommendation, hopefully at the next meeting.
Right. All right, and that'd certainly be the case. We'll go on now to the next item on the agenda here, and I'm going to give Melissa a chance to get back to her office. Oh, I guess you're already there. All right, so there she is. We'll get up here to the payables now and see if our special call meeting, the primary reason we're having the meeting today is to pay all the bills remaining from the 2019-20 fiscal year. And we'll be going on to, Wednesday to the next fiscal year. So is there a motion to pay these bills?
Second.
Second.
Any questions regarding the bills? Everybody's had a chance to look these over and ask any questions prior to the meeting as well. All right, we've had a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposition? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda has to do with the budget transfers. And Melissa, I'll ask you to explain that and to go through the budget transfers.
Okay, I emailed out over the weekend budget transfers, which total $290,523.34. Line item transfers are necessary to cover budget items where we have overspent. So we simply transfer from lines where there's an available balance.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion. We approve these budget transfers to the tune of $290,523.34
Second.
for fiscal year 2019-20.
All right, moved and seconded. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Melissa, for doing that.
And anyone opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda has to do with Eudl Gardens Botanical, pardon?
Judge,
Yes,
did you
sir.
skip payables of July 1st? I think we just did payables of June 29th. Or did you all combine both of those together?
Now, those are all the payables. They were combined, whatever.
Fine. There is one page that was for July 1st.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. Now we'll go to the Eudl Gardens agreement. This is a watershed project to put 175 to 200 plants in Eudl Gardens in their rainforest. There will be a community involvement workshop and so forth. The plants are at Eudl Gardens, and we've have agreed to a single payment of $2,000 for Eudl Gardens to take care of this procedure. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Or I don't know how it is on our broadcast, but I'm having a hard time hearing everyone. So, Becca, you're here with us. Were there any questions for Becca?
I got a question.
Yes.
These plants, are they plants that are already there? They're just moving to a different place, or are they coming from some other location?
No, so they're going to actually grow the plants there. They have greenhouses, so we're going to pay them, and paying them ahead of time will be really helpful for them to be able to get everything that they need and design a plan. The rain garden, like Judge said, is going to be on site, so they're going to grow them over the next several months, and then we're going to have a planting of the rain garden this fall, and then that's going to lead to a community workshop next spring.
Well, I'm assuming this rain garden is an area that is already there, been designated in some way. This is the best place to put those.
Yeah, exactly. So they have an existing, basically an existing basin that gets a lot of water from their site already, and we're going to take that area that's already receiving water and we're going to improve it with the plants.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge.
Yes, sir. Measured Hounds.
So the main reason that we're doing this is to provide education for the community, to help them want to grow their own rain gardens. It's a little foggy to me.
I can answer that. So rain gardens are a really excellent way to get a lot of people involved because you can install one almost anywhere. The purpose of them is plainly to put it like water conservation, but more importantly, it's taking water that would go into the storm drains or erode property and use it on site to minimize future erosion, minimize runoff and the pollution that gets carried to our streams. But like I said, it's a really great way to get a lot of people involved in this topic, and the bar to get people involved is fairly low because it's not very expensive and something everybody can do.
Will they be selling plants then for these gardens for the future, or how does that work? How do they, if I wanted to do a rain garden, would I be able to then purchase these plants down the road for my own rain garden, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we haven't totally figured out all the details. This contract is just for the initial plants, but my goal is to, by the time the workshop comes, to be able to have plants to almost give either a free through the grant or a low cost people who attend kind of like a starter kit to bring home and start their own rain garden.
Magistrate Logston.
Yes, sir. My only question is, can you spend taxpayers' money on private property like that?
Yeah, so that's where all the funding. It doesn't have to be private property, but through the grant, it comes through it's federal funding through the Clean Water Act that goes through the Division of Water. So it's as long as we're adhering to the concept of non-point source pollution, it can be spent on any land. And private property is actually really good because it provides more buy-in from the landowner that we're working with. So all the, for example, the septic program that you're probably most familiar with, that's all done on private property.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Becca, would it be fair to say, to help answer Magistrate Logston's question, that Eudl is the facilitator for this project?
I guess so. So we're currently funding them the $2,000 to grow the plants. Then we're gonna work with them to plant them on site on that rain garden, and they're gonna be responsible for the maintenance of that rain garden going forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand the question.
Yeah, they're sort of the in between. They're not profiting off of this at all. They're the host, I guess.
Yeah, and Eudl, I think everyone's probably mostly familiar with Eudl, but they have, they already do a lot with conservation on their property, and they receive tons of visitors, usually every year, and they have hundreds of volunteers already, so that really is going to help the Curry Sport program by working with them and trying to pull from all the existing work that they've kind of done.
Judge,
Yes, sir. Magistrate Downs.
Is this grant money coming through the federal government, or is this actually county funds?
No, so that's one thing about this program is there's no funding spent through the county. It all starts as federal dollars that, like I said, go through this. It's confusing, but go through the state and then end up in Oldham County.
Okay, so this is part of a grant that you've already applied for. We're just taking that money towards this project.
Yeah, this is existing funds that we have.
Okay, that clears it up. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I should start with that. It's not always clear. I forget that it's a little bit different program than you all are used to.
All right, seeing no further questions and having the motion made and seconded, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda has to do with the cleaning contract at the courthouse. Courthouse is back open now. The administrative office of the courts has asked that the HVA system be ventilation be verified, and that all proper cleaning be done related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Public access to the facility, the janitorial staff needs to ensure that high-touch, frequently used areas and other parts of the facility are disinfected and wiped down during the day. These include door handles, faucets, flush handles, toilet partitions, countertops, glass partitions, elevator control buttons, handrails, and any spectator pews as directed by the Chief Circuit Judge. So you have before you here a contract to extend the modern maintenance, does the cleaning in the courthouse in the evening. They're willing to take on a 4-hour period during the day, 9:30 to 1:30, or 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As functions are needed there, and that would be at $96 a day. So that would go on until the end of the year, December 31st. not function on days the courthouse is closed. And these expenses are subject to, are eligible for reimbursement from the CARES Act. So is there a motion to hire Modern Maintenance to take care of this function?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Magistrate Dye.
Judge, when you're mixing the courthouse, you're talking about the AOC building?
Yeah, we're in the fiscal court building. We're talking about the
Right.
AOC building,
You
right?
kept saying courthouse, I didn't know which one you were talking about.
Yeah,
But when you said circuit court judge, I figured you meant the AOC.
yeah, right, AOC building, that's correct.
And they'll be under our control as far as checking the quality and all of that, or?
Yes, right. They'll be functioning under the maintenance department, right?
So it's just an expansion of their contract to a second?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, okay, thank you.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
do you know how much money we're supposed to receive from the state that we get reimbursed for COVID-19?
I believe it's $2.3 million. Any further questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item has to do with the salt bid award. Magistrate Greenwell.
Thank you, Judge. The road committee met today at 1 o'clock, and we voted unanimously to award the bid to Maxi Salt at $78 a ton.
All right.
And I would make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we buy our salt at $78 a ton, delivered from Maxi Salt. Any discussion on that?
How large a purchase was it, Magistrate Greenwell?
1,800 tons, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no further discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we have the erosion control bond release for the Rawlings Group parking lot. Jim Sullivan, are you here? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the Kelly Construction has completed the construction of the parking lot expansion, and they passed inspection. Everything looked really nice. So we are recommending, the engineering department is recommending, and the road committee also concurred earlier today for the release of the erosion and sediment control bond in the amount of $62,078 to Kelly Construction. And I'm asking for the fiscal court's concurrence on that also.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that we release the erosion control bond to $62,078. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, now we'll go on to personnel items here. Ms. Schaaf.
The first item that we have is a rehire and reinstatement for dispatch. That's going to be Megan Engel, returning as telecommunicator 2 at $20.19 per hour, and that'll be effective July 12th.
Judge, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Was there a question?
Yes,
Judge,
Judge, I had a question.
Sorry.
Megan just turned in her resignation within the last 2 to 3 months, maybe, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then is this the same rate that we're paying her now that we paid her at when she was still in our employ?
No, it is not. There was a higher amounts budgeted for the next budget, in the next cycle.
So she's going to be getting more money due to an increase in the budget.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? I think we already voted on that. But we'll answer any questions. Magistrate Tice?
What I understood means that she would have got the higher money had she stayed with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. That's correct. She came back within the administrative code specifications for returning and not losing your prior benefits. You know, she had a change of heart. She left, had a change of heart. She did a good job while she was there. Yeah, we want her back. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. All right, go ahead, Tina.
Then we have a resignation in the judge's office, Sheila Fair, effective July 10th. And did you-
Let's take the resignation and the new hire at the same time.
The new hire is Denise Clark, Administrative Services Coordinator at $20 an hour, effective June 30th. That's contingent on background checks coming back.
Right.
That is effective.
Need a motion, Judge?
Yes, sir.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on this?
Did you say you already hired somebody to fill her position?
Got somebody on the agenda here, right? Just happens for the timing was such that Ms. Clark was being considered for another position in the organization, but this one came up. So it worked out to be a good fit. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Aye. Nay.
All right, who were those nays? I didn't see who the nays were. Pardon? One?
Extra green.
Okay,
I'll do that.
okay. All right, motion carries.
Judge,
Thank
did
you.
we vote on the other
Pardon?
one, dispatcher? Did we vote on
I think we
dispatcher?
did. We did, and then I caught Magistrate Greenwell's hand up after we took the vote, so I wanted to answer the question.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
Right.
Be sure.
This is our last Zoom meeting, I hope. Certainly my intention to be the last one. It's hard to focus on everybody at the same time, and it's easy to miss a hand if you're not really, making a big wave. So, anyway. All right. We're just about at the end of our special meeting here for today. I'd like to, before we go through the magistrate's comments, I have a few comments I'd like to make here at the end of the meeting. As we know, Wednesday is going to be July 1st. July 1st is the merger date between the Oldham County Environmental District and MSD. The merger will go into effect on that date. All customers of the Oldham County Environmental District have received introductory letters from MSD welcoming them to that service. The letter reviewed the current rates and the future rate decrease for OSEA customers. We're very happy to have this take place. After reviewing this, the cost of future service for sewers in Oldham County, the OSEA board and I agreed that merging with MSD was the best choice for the future of Oldham County. The fiscal court concurred over a period of time with this assessment by approving the several steps of interlocal agreements. I want to take this time to thank OSEA Chairman Horace Herod and our Chief Financial Officer Stan Clark for their diligent efforts in making this merger happen. There was many hours, hundreds of hours that went on behind the scenes to provide all the information that MSD required to understand our service and to be comfortable moving forward. Stan Clark did certainly a yeoman's job on this. Horace Herod was there to assist him all the way, and it wouldn't have happened without their diligent efforts and continuous effort to make it go forward. And besides Chairman Herod, I also want to thank the other members of our Environmental District Board, Art Henson and Jim Griffin. For many years, these members have been the three members of our Environmental District Board. They've taken an unglamorous subject that most of us probably, we all deal with, but don't want to have to deal with. They've taken it, attended, scores and scores of meetings, learned so much about how the sewer system works, can work, should work with engineers, work with budgets, tried to appease customers, keep rates in a manageable format, and just absolutely did a tremendous job in a difficult business over an extended period. So thank you, Horace. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Art, for what you have done. My thank you is insufficient in relation to the amount of effort that you've expended, particularly for no compensation on top of it. But I do thank you for everything you've done and wish you the very best. And the board is going to continue on just a little bit longer, because there's a few wrap-up items that are going to probably be needed to handle over the next 90 days or so. But I thank everyone who has been involved with that. Stan Clark has also done the finance work, treasurer work on the MSD board. Again, thank you, Stan, for everything you did. He's sitting in our audience here today, and I want to publicly acknowledge him for the tremendous effort that he made to make all of this happen and to keep the to keep the merger going, but keep OSEA underway for many years. OSEA started in the mid-90s, and it's gone on for 25 years. Regarding our community pool, people are asking about our pool. We decided the pool cannot be open this year. There are just too many requirements associated with opening the pool for basically 4 to 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks at best. There are the social distancing requirements required by the state are just prohibitive in regard to a community pool. They're asking people to come up out of the water 6 feet away from anybody else who happens to be in the water. They want all of the equipment wiped down continuously. Limited numbers of people in the pool. They want us to take everybody's name and address who may want to come into the pool. No concessions are allowed. I have a list here in front of me. I'm not going to read it all, but we have something called Healthy at Work, okay? Well, these requirements went on for 4 pages. It's more than we can take on in a public facility. It's keeping people from congregating around, talking to each other, keeping all the kids away from each other, trying to keep masks on everybody. We're not the pool police, and we don't want to be the pool police, and it just created a work curve that was too steep to take on. I apologized, and I'm sorry, because I know there are people in the community who are disappointed about this. Certainly hope this clears up by next year. We need a vaccine badly. We all know it. We're all suffering from this circumstance, but we just can't open the pool this year. We're not the only ones. A number of other pools are not opened as well. The same circumstance applies in some part to the recycling center. We're getting a lot of questions, when is the recycling center going to open? I don't know right at this point. We don't have inmate help available at the recycling center. The jail normally provides 3 workers at the recycling center. We've looked into trying to replace those 3 workers with other personnel, but the cost is steep. We're asking people to do their best to keep recycling at home. If you have cardboard and other paper, put it in your garage, try to save it. We'll be open again someday, but I don't know exactly when someday is at this point. Sooner the better. But we don't have an opportunity also to dispose of all of our recycling materials. So we're not able to fence the area off 24 hours a day, so opening for a limited number of hours is difficult because we don't have people there all the time. So I won't say it's totally closed off. It could open again sooner than we expect, but right now we can't open it as of now. I want to thank the health department for everything they're doing. As Teresa mentioned earlier, we have had 8 deaths in the county so far from the COVID virus. 175 cases, I believe, is what she mentioned. Please take the steps to do the right thing. I have this thing hanging around my neck every day. Don't really like it, but it's there. When I get out of my car, walk into the grocery store, and have forgotten it and had to go back to the car. Keeping it in your pocket, having it hanging on a lanyard is a good idea. I'd like to ask everyone to pray for our country. There's a lot of animosity, a lot of aggravation, a lot of ill will and hard feelings that are being displayed on television across the country. We have 300 and some million people in this country, but when you see a group on a screen, they represent a certain number of people, but certainly not the majority of people in this country by any means. Yet there are people that have an aggravation, have a complaint, are unhappy about a circumstance. We can all have our own opinion on whether or not or how valid those complaints are. Certain people have taken over and are destroying property. We can't stand for this. It just cannot be. It must stop, and I hope the president stops it immediately, and the mayors, the governors cannot tolerate this. This is just anarchy in our streets. But I ask people to pray for our country. We need guidance. We need help. I'm so proud of our Oldham County Police, Sheriff, LaGrange Police, Pewee Valley authorities. We have had, a few incidents of minor nature here, but they are out there. They are working for us, doing their best to make sure that order is maintained in our county, and we will maintain order in our county. And so let's all work together, and I thank our law enforcement for the dedication and the determination and the sacrifices they make to protect and serve our community. The 4th of July fireworks will take place on the 4th of July. It gets dark about 9:30 is when they normally start shooting off. We're going to allow people into Wendell Park. We ask you to please do not congregate, wear your mask, observe the social distancing regulations. Stay with your car if you can. The Oldham County Country Club, Oldham County High School, there are other parking places in the area where you can easily observe and enjoy the fireworks, and so I ask you to do that. We'll be trying not to have the park jammed full of cars. We'll try to keep it as safe as we can for everybody who wants to enjoy the evening, but we are going forward with that. So I'd like to conclude my remarks by wishing everybody a happy holiday. Be proud of our country, love our country, serve our country, and let's all work together for the best of our country in the future. Now I'd like to ask the magistrates, I'm sure they may have a comment or two before we conclude our meeting. Magistrate Logston.
Yes, Judge. This is just a thought, and I know we should bring this up in the committee, but since we have 2.8 million that could be used for COVID, since we can't use our jail employees because of COVID, could we maybe hire a couple of part-time people to cover recycling for a couple months or until we can open it up? And that money could be used out of that COVID money?
Possibly. We have to get guidance from Frankfurt on that, but we can ask. We can certainly ask. Okay, thank you. Magistrate Hounds.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. Just to echo some of the comments that you made about the virus, it's not comfortable to wear a mask to me, but in real estate showing property, I have to wear a mask to show homes. It's just the nature that we're in right now. Ask people to be aware of it. If you don't have a mask that fits right, try to find one that does. It's a simple thing that we can do. Washing your hands, using hand sanitizer. We all have to work together. Hopefully, we're going to get to a point to where we probably won't see a cure this year, but maybe there'll be some available medications to help reduce the severity of the virus. I've gotten a couple phone calls, and I don't think people necessarily understand. One was earlier today about the fiscal court's involvement in opening up the schools. We aren't part of that. They have the Board of Education that takes care of that, and they're getting guidance from the state. So the one lady that called me today was wanting to make some suggestions, and I gave her her local school board member that she can contact. And I would encourage others, if you have such questions, to contact your elected school board members. Glad to hear about the fireworks on the 4th of July, Judge. I think that's cool. Please, everybody, try to maintain your social distancing. Remember why we're celebrating the 4th of July. As it relates to fireworks, please, people, try to be understanding of your neighbors. Not everybody is off work when you're off work. If you want to shoot off your fireworks, please try to do it. Maybe the 3rd, 4th, and I guess if you're off the 5th. But I've already gotten complaints from people that say that their neighbors are already shooting off fireworks. I understand the fireworks stands are open, and free enterprise, they're selling their product, but please be cognizant of your neighbors. We don't need is the police department running around on firework complaints, and we don't need the fire departments out chasing firework issues where they've landed on other people's property. Thank goodness we've gotten some rain. Looks like we're going to get some for the next several days, so hopefully the ground material won't be dry and we won't have to worry about issues there. Just wish everybody a happy 4th of July and be safe if you're going to be traveling.
Magistrate Harrison.
Yes, thank you, Judge. One report on District 3, the bridge replacement at Oregon Creek Road is either on schedule or may actually be ahead of schedule. We're waiting on the beams to be delivered, kind of what we did before with the 80 Mile Creek Bridge, but the crew from Louisville Paving is doing a great job down there, and there's not been any complaints from the neighbors. Everybody seems to be very understanding and congenial with the crew, and that's great. My compliments to everybody in that neighborhood. Some of you may remember when I was giving my report on military days at our first meeting in June, I was upset that there had been no public recognition of D-Day. Had I known what was going to follow June 6th, I would have been even more upset that day, because that was the beginning of the trend where we're not just going to, the media is not satisfied with ignoring our military observances, but somebody's intent on trying to destroy our military history as well as our American history, and that's even more upsetting to me. It is a direct slap in the face to those who served in uniform and their families, even more so to the ones who died defending this country, and to the families of those who died. I just we pay more attention to somebody who gets shot in Chicago than we do to the military, and it's just the whole thing is upside down. That being said, I'm going to redouble my efforts to recognize the military days. We missed a couple at the last meeting. That was my fault. We had a Coast Guard auxiliary birthday on June 23rd. Jerry North out there somewhere. Also on June 25th. And this one is really upsetting. In 1950, that was the beginning of our involvement in the Korean War. So they're trying to erase that from being a memory. I saw no mention of it either anymore. I did see that. June 27th was National PTSD Awareness Day. And there should have been more publicity on that. We have people from World War II and Korea and Vietnam and the current wars is severely suffering from post-traumatic stress, and they should be receiving care and treatment, and they're not, and now they're being ignored. So I will hold my tongue on the rest of it. Thank you.
All right, measure die.
Thank you, Judge. I just wanted to echo what Magistrate Townsend, people that, I have a lot of subdivisions in my district that have fireworks, because, both sides, people that have them, and people that don't have them. Use some common sense, try to get along, so you can still have a good time and not make somebody mad. And just for a correction, the COVID money from the state is 2.3 million, not 2.8.
All right, Magistrate Tice.
Yes, I want to concur with everything you said earlier, Judge. It's right on target. We have conscious of where we are in society and come out of everything we're in the middle of on the top side. So have a good holiday and be safe out there.
All right. Measure Likens.
Judge, just wanted you to see if you could comment on our electrical inspector of the county. I read your email about that. I know I have to wait on electrical inspections in my commercial jobs, and it really affects our schedule.
All right, well, we just, we're seeking an additional electrical inspector. We've had one retire, one leave. He didn't retire. He just decided that he would seek an opportunity that he thought was better, and it had to do with compensation, not work environment or conditions, and so it's just, I hear a big echo here. I don't know where it's coming from.
Bob Dye, he's on the phone.
Bob Dye's on the phone? Okay. All right. So that's what that was. And we're sorry about that. We're very sorry to see him leave.
Extra or 2 or 3 on this quantity, take more than one different box, different angles.
Okay.
Judge, does Bob realize that he's causing a problem?
No, he doesn't.
We need to have him step away.
Hey, Bob.
Future.
Can you kill your mic, Bob?
Hang up the phone.
Mute me. All right. Magistrate Hawkins, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it my turn?
I heard you say hang up the phone, so I guess it's your turn.
Okay. I didn't know if Magistrate Harrison purposefully neglected Desert Storm, but that would be another conflict. And to add to what he was saying about PTSD, it happens for veterans whether they were in conflict or I think sometimes even if they weren't in a conflict, can come out of the military with some PTSD. So I just wanted to add to that. And thank you for mentioning the fireworks, Judge, and the recycling center. I've been overwhelmed with phone calls and emails regarding the recycling center, so I appreciate you addressing that. And I just wanted to say that we're fortunate and blessed to live in our independent country with our freedom, and I just pray everybody has a safe 4th of July. So that's all.
Thank you. All right, Magistrate Greenwell.
Thank you, Judge. I would just like to echo your sentiments about the OCA board and how hard they've worked. And I don't know that anybody has done as much as they have for little or no compensation. And they've just been an excellent bunch to represent Oldham County. And I recommended 2 of them to previous judges. And the amazing thing is they still speak to me. But also, I had some comments over the weekend about Railroad Avenue and the trucks getting stuck on it, and I used to get notices about that on my phone, and I no longer receive them. And I get notices about everything else that happens on I-71 and everywhere else, but I don't know if that's being put out anymore.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Thank you.
All right.
And also, just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, I believe that pretty much, unless anyone else has anything to discuss, concludes our meeting for today. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.